Hello, welcome to the play ratings. Today, Lou and I were talking about the nil-nil game versus Bournemouth at Sellers Park. Once again, if you could be so kind to like, subscribe, we'd appreciate it. We appreciate all your support, all your comments. We'll be doing some content, obviously, coming up for the Arsenal match, but more importantly, the Villa game this weekend, the FA Cup semi-final. It's going to be a stressful week for me personally. I don't know about you guys. So, um, Lou, you were there yesterday. Your thoughts on the match?
Do you know what? I'm really happy with the nil-nil, with the point, with the clean sheet. Um, Me particularly, I really don't like talking about referees. I think it's become a bit annoying in football culture these days. Every team thinks referees are against them. Everyone thinks it's a conspiracy against them. So I kind of stay out of refereeing decisions because everyone gets bad decisions all the time. But yesterday, that was bad. It was bad yesterday, um, and I'm just thankful that it hasn't cost us how it did the Brentford game at the start of the season. And he clearly can't control football games, and yeah, it kind of ruined the game. Even though I think we'll get onto it as to why we done well. I thought we done really well with 10 men, but yeah, it kind of ruined the game and just put. It was just wasn't enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I am with you. So let's go over it quickly as far as the match highlights. The one change was Wharton came in for Lerma. Made sense to me. I thought Wharton Hughes was I was calling for that in the first place. Surprised that Mitchell played started, but actually I thought he played really well yesterday. Early on, Munoz had a great chance set up for Mateta that was offside, but I think Mateta should have put that away. Then we get into the incidents. There's really nothing else really happens, and then Richards gets a nothing yellow card.
That was a
Uh,
dive by
yeah,
Dango.
exactly.
He didn't
And
touch him.
then
He poked the ball
uh,
around him and just fell to the floor.
right, and then obviously Scott gets a yellow card, and then on 45 plus a minute or so, Richards he barely touches. I don't even understand. I don't understand. It's just frustrating. I don't. That's never a second yellow card. It's never in a million years. Unfortunately,
Mm,
VAR cannot check that. Scott makes a similar foul and doesn't get
way worse.
it's wait where again. I just don't understand what's going on. It ruins the game. Like you before the match, I think I predicted a 1-0 Palace, but I was very happy if we low or mid block take got a clean sheet and whatever happened after that was fine. But the way that this referee just killed this game, and again, if people don't watch this show know that I never complain about referees. I don't care. I have said in
Mm.
the past that I think the standard of referees in America, in England, is awful, but it is what it is. But that referee yesterday, clearly, like you said, he was a Brentford referee with the Eze free kick. He's from Brighton. He just can't control the football match, and he's terrible. He's just terrible. Just it
But
was awful. So
everyone was so like focused on that Richards. It's so bad because first of all, Alex Scott's first challenge is horrible. That if anything, that's a yellow and a half because he's
right,
breaking up. He's breaking up a counter attack, and it was a nasty challenge. Then the second one, Sarr's literally on the edge of the box, and Richard's first one, honestly, that is 10 times worse. That decision to give him a yellow, even a foul, is 10 times worse than the second yellow. Django literally pokes it past him, is going nowhere, and just drops to the floor, and he gives me a yellow. I couldn't believe it. I saw it on Match of the Day, and I watched the highlights again, and I just don't how who's reviewing this guy after because that is one of the worst four decisions I've seen. It was awful.
yeah. I mean, again, with Sars are both when he's breaking into attack. It's not like he's actually breaking through into the defensive lines.
Mm,
That's why they're pulling him back. But Richards weren't close to that. Again, it was just so poor. I don't understand how.
yeah.
Again, and I showed the video. I shared the picture, you guys, when Cliver pulls down Sauce, pulls down his shorts. I mean, what? I mean, what are we talking about right now? He got a yellow for it, yeah, but still, I mean, come on. I mean, this guy, he was terrible. But now we've got it out of the way. Let's get into the individual performances because there
Mm.
were some good ones. And again, to play a half with 10 men and get a point and get a clean sheet to me was heroic from Palace again, as in it was against Brighton. So Dean Henderson, Both game of 7. I'll go first. This is what I'm going to say, and it's a typical Dean Henderson clean sheet. Nothing to do. He had 4 saves, and I could not remember one of them that's memorable. I think Watara might have had one, a soft one, but again, he had to make 11 out of 29 passing, 9 out of 27 long balls. His XG face was 0.49. He had nothing to do. So good for him. He got that. I think it's his 10th clean sheet in the Premier League, 12th this season. Got the clean sheet, but nothing to do. But your thoughts on Dean Henderson?
Do you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. His kicking was terrible yesterday. He kicked
Out,
he
out,
kicked
out touch so many times.
out. He kicked the ball out of touch about 4 or 5 times, and when it did stay in touch, it went the wrong way. And he doesn't have the ability to kick the ball out of his hands sometimes and stuff. He'd done it against Brighton when Eze had that chance where he cut in just at 1-0 when he played that long ball. But he doesn't have that side volley in his repertoire to like start attacks really well. I think Edison was like probably the best at it. There's a few others that are good, but yeah, his kicking was awful yesterday, but it's a clean sheet, so yeah.
Next, we go to Danny Munoz. Both game of 7. You go first on Munoz yesterday.
I think it was tough for him. There was a few loose passes. I think he's the one that gave the ball away. Then when Richards got his first yellow card, that inside pass. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough for him. I thought Dango was quite dangerous in the first half. But yes, we really needed his attributes when you're down to 10 men because he runs and runs and runs and runs. So it's like it really helps. Really helped to secure the point. But yeah, he got into some attacking positions. But yeah, it was a tough game. It was a poor game. He nearly had that little flick from that Sarr cross later on. But yeah, I thought he was good.
Yeah, and right, he had to be in that kind of match when it's down to 10 men, especially. Funny enough, most successful passes were him, 17 out of 25.
That shows what type of game it was.
The passing was, I mean, actually, I'll scroll up a little bit. The passing in general for us was awful. I mean, we didn't have the ball that much, but
we had 20. Was it like 23% possession? 27%.
27% possession.
128 passes. Terrible.
It's awful.
Terrible.
I mean, I know it's a half with 10 men, but it was really bad. I mean, again, normally I go back and watch a game at least once. I didn't watch even the highlights back. I couldn't be bothered to go back. But back to Munoz again. He lost the most duels, 8. But again, I thought his energy levels were high. I thought Watara, you're right, was good, but he wasn't dangerous. I thought Semenyo, especially toward the end of the game, was much more dangerous than Watara. I thought Watara was very wasteful. So we were lucky, but I thought Munoz again did a decent enough job there. Considering
Semenyo is so strong, by the way. He can't. He just bounce. People just bounce off of him.
Really good player. Really, really good player. I don't even know what else I can say about him. Let's move on to Tyreek Mitchell. 7.5 for me, 6.5 for me. I thought bouncing back from the last 2 matches was important for a tie. I thought he did a good job. We just mentioned Semenyo. I thought Semenyo and even Smith on their left side. Their right side. Sorry, their right side on our left were both quite dangerous. Semenyo, again, you know how we both rate him very well, but I thought Ty did a really good job yesterday on him. Passing 10 out of 14, but 4 out of 6 long balls, 6 clearances, 3 headed clearances, 1 out of 1 aerial duels, 1. I thought he did a good job again, but it was important for him on a personal note to not have a poor game, and I thought he did a good job. What about you?
I thought the game suited him more in the second half because he's a defensive left back. So the fact that we were more pegged in and there wasn't that much pressure of him to get forward, he had a much better game in the second half. I think in the first half, sometimes genuinely his throw-ins and when he gets the ball, I get nervous that that's where it's going to break down. I still think he's lacking confidence at the moment. He's quite a reactive player in the sense of like he's a wing back and he doesn't like get out on the touchline and demand the ball. It's kind of like, oh, I'm here. You can kind of give it to me if you want to give it to me, but I don't really want it. That's the type of vibe I get from him when he's in the final third. And when you're playing that formation, it's really tough because that's where the width comes from. And Eze isn't a wide player either, so it's like it can break down. But I thought he was great in the second half. I think Guehi helped him a lot with Semenyo.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Guehi really helps him out a lot. But again, he's got a clean sheet and he ran his socks off again. I'm not going to kill him. So,
He
but
did.
I don't. He didn't do enough for me on the ball to get a 7. Like I still feel like a lot broke down. There was even a time, even those balls down the channel, they end up kind of ballooning straight. It's never in the right area. I just need more from my left wing back on the ball.
I totally get that. But again, what I'll say is that
Mm.
going back to the two previous matches conceding 5 goals. I wrote that in my
Yeah,
notes that the comments actually mentioned, like in the 40th minute, they mentioned that Paris already dropped into a mid block of 5-4-1. So for that kind of game, that is what Mitchell was there for. Mitchell was never going to attack in that game. He was always going to
yeah,
just set up, as in that and on
yeah.
the widest of the 5 on the left and just kind of defend.
Yeah,
That's what he
I
did.
feel like
So
we looked really weak from our throw-ins in our own third as well. Every single time it looked like there was going to be a turnover straight away. I've seen we kind of like to throw it into the centre midfielder and hook it round, but I thought they kind of cottoned onto that and they were setting it back to Mitchell, and as soon as he got it, they were on him straight away. Which again, that's not really his game, but yeah.
oh yeah. Mark Guehi, I gave him an 8. He gave 8.5. Our man of the match. Even I wasn't really sure who was man of the match until you sent me yours, but I guess I think of the players, he was probably the best. Even though
Mm.
later on we realized the fan picked somebody different. But what are your thoughts on Mark Guehi?
Who did the fans pick? Will
Well, just
Hughes.
I want to surprise you, yeah, with Will
Okay,
Hughes.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought
Will
so.
Hughes. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Guehi was probably the reason why we got a point from that game because he helped stop Semenyo, who was the most dangerous player on the team.
yep,
Uh, what is really important when you have 10 men is not to just fire the ball, even though we did it quite a bit, was just give the ball away. And the fact that we've got a centre half that's so calm on the ball that can bring the ball into midfield and win fouls. He won everything in the air. There was even a time where he stepped forward and played a lovely left-footed diagonal to Munoz, which nearly created a chance. He made Lacroix look a bit better than what he was. I just think all round he was a leader yesterday, and he's the reason why we got the point.
yeah. I agree. I won't throw any real stats because there weren't a lot of stats for him. Just one block, one clearance. But I thought
The
versus Semenyo very
organisation.
good. Was brilliant. And again, Semenyo, he made like a great 1-on-1 tackle on Semenyo at one point. That was really important. So again, the most dangerous attacker by far was Semenyo, and I thought Mitchell and definitely Guehi helped to keep him very, very quiet, which is why I gave him man of the match
Yeah,
yesterday. Just
there's
organization and leadership was there.
there's not many defenders in the league that can defend against Semenyo 1v1. There's not many, and
No, no,
and
exactly.
and Semenyo is probably actually stronger than he's got that Ghanaian strength inside him because when he gets going, the player just bounce off of him, and I think he realized after a while that Guehi wasn't gonna give him an inch.
Exactly, yeah.
He switched sides, didn't he? He went to the middle.
He did. He
Yeah,
felt like he wasn't getting anything from that side. Let me
yeah,
go. And
yeah.
he was more affected that way too. But then
Mhm.
again, thankfully, the end product for him wasn't there. Because if he had it, we would definitely lost that game because he's a quality player. We saw that against Fulham, obviously. So Maxence Lacroix, both game of 7. I thought he was actually he was okay. He kept Evan Nilsson quiet, but some of his clearances, he looked nervous. They were just I don't know.
That's exactly what I
Like
was
every
gonna
time he tried
say.
to clear the ball, it was very strange. I don't know
Shanked.
if he's so many balls. He shanked so many balls
Mm.
yesterday. I don't know what it was about him. I was very surprised. His passing 12 for 21 was so poor. But again, defensively, um, 2 blocks, 10 clearances, 10, most in the match. So he was making clearances, 3 out of 4 ground duels, 1. He just seemed on certain balls to his feet. He was very nervous. I don't know if that's a
Mm.
product of the 5 goals in the last 2 matches, conceding, him not being well, him maybe being a bit of a front runner defender. When we're doing well, he does a little better when we're not doing well. But again, we got through the game, and it was very important to get the clean sheet yesterday and getting the point. But he just at some point was nervous. What are your thoughts on Lacroix yesterday?
Yeah, I thought he was quite shaky in the first half. Shanked quite a few passes. He did put he did pick out Sarr with a really nice lofted ball.
He did.
Because
Yeah,
what I thought our game plan was we was we was quite direct, but in a sense of we wanted to miss out their midfield with those little balls in behind because
bypass them. Yeah, bypass.
bypass them. We didn't want to go too direct. We did sometimes to Mateta, but we weren't confident enough on the ball to pick out those passes. And I think also Bournemouth's press was quite good. They knew their pressing triggers were correct because I felt like as soon as we started playing out, they was on us straight away. But when it did work, like that pass when he picked out Sarr, I think that's when Scott got the yellow card, the first yellow card, or
Yep.
yeah, I think it might have been that or the other one. But that was what we was trying to do, and maybe if Richards didn't get sent off, they would have gone in at half time, and Glasner would have showed him, look, this is where we're doing well, this is where we're not, and
Making
would
an
have come out.
adjustment. Yeah.
We probably would have come out a completely different side. That's how I see it. I think Glasner would have really got into them at half time. But yeah, his clearances in the second half, listen, they were really good. Yeah, so I'm happy with him. I'm happy that they're back to getting a clean sheet.
Yeah, I think that's important too, 100%, especially with the Villa game coming up.
Just a confidence builder.
Yeah, he had to do. Chris Richards, both game of 5. You go first on Richards yesterday.
It's so harsh, but you can only give him because he got sent off. So it's like he only played a half. But I actually thought he was doing quite well. But I haven't really got much. I feel sorry for him. But yeah.
I totally agree. I feel he would definitely gone higher if not for the yellow. I thought he had a really good early tackle. He was passing the ball. Who knew he had a long throw on him, by the way? All of a sudden now, we got two guys with long throws, which is mad. All of a sudden, these set piece coaches are brilliant. All of a sudden, they develop learning to long throw now. Richard has a long throw.
You can imagine one at the training ground being like, so which one of you can throw it far? And then they've just got everyone on the line seeing how far they can throw it.
Exactly, you.
But did you see Semenyo's throw?
Yeah,
Semenyo's got a throw as
well. I knew he had one for me.
His one's a bit more arrowed.
Right. But again, I feel so bad for him. The 2 fouls he committed, and he committed 2 fouls and got 2 yellows. Usually, a guy gets a red card, gets like maybe 4 or 5 fouls before he get a yellow card. Yeah. He committed 2 fouls, got a yellow card on both, which is ridiculous. So I feel very unlucky. I mean, I feel bad for him. He'll get rest for Arsenal, be back for Villa, but I can't kill him. I mean, I didn't kill Guehi or Nketiah, and I thought they were maybe more yellows, more reds than this. But there's no way he's a yellow. Yeah, but he did not deserve a red card, and I feel really bad for him. So let's move on to Adam Wharton. 6.5 from me, 6 from you. I thought he was good at points, but I just think overall, I don't think he had a great game. He had a wild right-footed shot. He was involved in that play I mentioned earlier with the Munoz cross. He played the ball to Munoz for the cross for Mateta, even though it was offside. I like the fact he looked forward a lot of his passes, especially trying, like you mentioned before, trying to find Sarr. But his passing just wasn't great yesterday. His passing overall, and he's been much better lately, was, 10 out of 20, 50%. I didn't even know it was that low. I thought it was maybe a little bit higher. Defensively, again, he worked really hard. 3 clearances, an interception, 5 recoveries. Defensively, he really helped work hard for the clean sheet. And again, the game changed at halftime, obviously, when we're down to 10 men. But I thought that I expected more out of him, but he has done well lately. I thought Hughes and he would be a little better, but I thought of the two, Hughes was definitely better than him yesterday. But your thoughts on Adam Wharton?
He came back with a bang, and then I think us as a fan base thought, oh yeah, he's just hit the ground. That Villa performance, but yeah, it's probably maybe a little bit of a confidence knock after those City and Newcastle games. Yeah, sometimes it was a bit of a tough watch in a sense. I feel like has he lost a little bit of sharpness, because when he's at the top of his game, he intercepts so many balls. He did intercept quite a few, but I think there was a few times where he was bypassed quite easily.
Right.
He just doesn't look as athletic. He doesn't look bad, but just he looks like he's playing at about 70. I would say about 70. I'm talking about probably about 70%. I think, because I've seen him and he's been unplayable, like literally tight spaces, long passes, short passes, interceptions, blocks, everything. Um, but yeah, I'm just hoping he saves his form for Saturday because let me tell you, Villa's midfield made Newcastle's midfield not look very good.
Well, apparently
Tillemans
they were
and
tired. Apparently they were tired, according
yeah,
to the manager, the Newcastle manager. They were
but
tired
but
from
but
from
Villa played
battles.
PSG on Tuesday.
I'm just saying what I heard. He
Yeah,
said
and
the
they
team
got
said they were tired. So
Kamara and Tillemans are good players, good
it's
players.
gonna be yeah. Well, look forward to that preview. It's coming up soon. Be
Yeah,
dropping in the middle of the week. So let's move on to the fans man of the match, Will Hughes. I gave him a 7. You gave him 7.5. Your thoughts on Will Hughes yesterday?
he was he was unbelievable in the second half. First half he couldn't really get into the game, but second half I felt like our only goal was probably going to come from one of his set pieces. Thought his corners were really good, right on top of Kepa, but he
Yeah,
had to play a hybrid centre mid slash left midfield role.
a
If
lot
you
of
was
work.
the game, yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of work, a lot of ground covered, and there was a moment when we won a corner. They cleared it, went for another corner, and Kamada was like running over to take it. And I watched Hughes, and he was screaming at Kamada, telling him to slow down, wait for everyone to get in the box, calm down, wait. And it's just that's what Glasner talks about, him being an old school player. He's the one talking, telling people, and you need Hughes like that to marshal and organize. Guehi was the front man, was the one at the back doing it, but he was doing all. He was going forward, he was going backwards, he was going left, right. He was really good.
yeah. As the stats say, won the most duels 5.
Across it, yeah.
Crosses 4. And I wrote down what I wrote down him was dogged. He was just really just really
Mm,
leading the team. I remember one point I remember him yelling at Henderson at some point early in the match to kind of I think maybe when he kicked one ball out to touch whatever. But you're right, just really without him, we don't get the point. 3 clearances, 2 interceptions, 2 recoveries, just defensively really strong, organized the middle of the pitch. And you're right, he had to do so much work because again, when you're down a defender, and we'll get to learn later on, he did a really good job coming in for Richards. You have to play what is it now? Instead of 5-4, it's a 5-3-1.
yeah.
And he's got to cover 2 spots. He did a great job of it. And again,
Hmm.
and I see what the fans named him, but I gave it to Guehi. But I see now why you just said
Yeah,
he didn't
definitely.
deserve to get the credit. He worked second half again, worked his socks off yesterday.
Hmm.
Ismail Sarr, we both gave him a 7. I thought, honestly, beginning of the game, he looked really dangerous. Like I said, the 2 yellow cards that Scott should have got, or 2 fouls that Scott, were because he just ran. Remember, you talk about, he just ran at the defense and they couldn't do anything about him. Again, getting freaking short pulled down by Cliver over an issue. I thought he was doing well, but then again, once the yellow card comes and we're down to 10 men, his effectiveness is curtailed. 10 of 13 passing, so his passing was actually pretty good. Um, Played well defensively. Aerial duels 1 again, 3 out of 3 defensively. Went down to 10. He's playing well. 2 recoveries. He was a threat, but again, once we're down to 10 men, there's not much he could have done. But I thought Sarr played well yesterday. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he covered everything. He done his job. He should have got a player sent off. He was getting in dangerous positions. He worked his
Exactly.
socks
Yep.
off, and I knew when you saw how angry he was. He's like he's a very calm religious person, Sarah, as
He
well.
is
It doesn't
exactly
it
right.
takes very shy. So when I saw how angry he was getting, it was like it was it, it was a bit rude. Like I've never seen someone pull down someone's shorts in the middle of a game. Like
Ridiculous
it's
behavior. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
it's crazy
Yeah.
behavior. So that's why I realized
Yeah.
how angry he was. Yeah, we need him fresh. I know obviously we're talking about Villa, but I think he's probably might be the if we're gonna win that game, he's probably the most important player, one of the most
And
important players.
don't play him Wednesday, please. Give him a rest. He hasn't rested
Yeah,
all season. Please. I mean, he
yeah.
has beginning of the season, obviously, but please just give that guy a rest. He
Wrap
needs
him
to
in
give him a
plastic.
match off. Yeah, exactly. Next, Ebbs, both game of 4. You go first. I don't have much to say, honestly. Didn't do much.
I don't
Subbed
even
off
do it.
half time.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was a very reminiscent of when he wasn't in great form.
Right.
A bit like that. Uh, I think in those games, he's when he's not the way he is and how relaxed he is and how it looks really good when you're winning and you're playing well. But when your backs are against the wall a bit and you've been struggling and you've had 2 5-0 back 5 goals conceded in 2 games, and Bournemouth are dominating the ball. The last thing you want is your creative player to get the ball and flick it and give it away. Or it's
Right.
just not good for the team. I think he got into good positions with the transitions, but I felt like he kept turning back again a bit. He wasn't driving forwards. I think it was the correct sub to take him off at halftime, and another one, I think, playing for
Rested.
20 minutes, playing for
Yeah.
20 minutes maybe.
Yeah. I thought he did a good job. 70th minute. He's the one that drew the foul on Tyler Adams. You know, he great move going
Yeah,
forward, got the foul on Adams, and then the free kick. 30th minute, he had a great. I mean, it was a long kick, but I kind of knew it was going into that wall the whole time. I don't know why, but his
yeah,
free kicks this season, besides the Brentford one that got called back, haven't been good all season. So all I remember from him was those two things really: the foul he drew on Adams, and then the free kick. But I'm glad he got taken off because, like I said, he needs to rest, and he just wasn't effective enough, and he wouldn't have been effective with a 10-man team anyway. So glad he got subbed off. So
yeah.
that's it. Mateta, both gave him a 5. I usually gave him a 6. I dropped it down to a 5 because he had some good early touches again, hold up play, but he didn't have any shots on goal. He tried an overhead kick. His work rate was very good. I mean, again, we're down to 10 men after half time. He played the next 30 odd minutes. He works hard all the time, and I think that's not. You can never say anything about that. He always worked hard, but just yesterday again, just didn't have any opportunities. Again, the only time I remember him having a chance was the Munoz cross that he didn't get on the end of it. It was offside anyway. So, but again, I never thought his work rate. He could also do with the ref. I think against Arsenal. We'll get into that in a
Yeah.
few. Your thoughts on Mateta?
I thought the two centre backs were really good. I think Hoyson gets a lot of plaudits, but I thought Zabrani was very
Zabani's
strong.
very good.
Was
Yeah,
was
I
very
forget
good.
about him. I mentioned Senesi during the PV. I forgot Zabani's
Yeah.
10 times better than Senesi is. So yeah.
You
Sorry,
think
guys.
he's only 22 years old as well, Ukrainian. He's very, very, very good. Physical, technical. Yeah, so it was a tough day for him. We didn't really give him much. Again, I probably I don't know what he'll do on Wednesday. Maybe give him 20, 30 minutes. But yeah, I don't really have much to say. He didn't really get into the game.
Let's go into the subs real quick. Lerma, 7 for me, 7.5 from you. I'll just say I thought he did a great job coming in for Richards. I thought again, to me, he's gonna go down during the season as our probably most important player from the standpoint how versatile he is. For him to be able to drop
Hmm.
into the midfield, obviously, and then into the back three, and it's seamless. And he was putting these 7, 8 out of 10s every time he plays, especially in the back three. I thought he did really well yesterday. But anything you want to add about Lerma?
Uh, Apart from Guehi and Hughes, he's probably the most important, the third most important player to play yesterday. He came
I
on
agree.
assured at the back, physical, good in the air, made all the right decisions. Yeah, great performance, great sub.
Agree. I didn't catch it. Both gave him a 6. Do you want to go first? Anything you want to that stands out for Nketiah? I thought he did fine.
He did what he had to do. Didn't get any silly yellow cards. There was a couple of times where I thought he was going to give away a foul in a silly area, but I think he thought about it a bit more. But yeah, he ran his socks off.
Agree. And again, it's a thankless job when you're the one in a 10-man team and you got to do all the running up front and press
Hmm.
whatever by yourself. Kamada, both gave him a 6 again. I thought Kamada again tidy, didn't do anything silly. Helped us get that point. Nothing really stands out. A couple of clearances he had, but anything you want to add on Kamada?
Yeah, no, the exact same. I thought there was some really good touches, really good battling. There was a chance that we had I think, to slide through Nketiah right at the end,
A
and he
counter,
just,
yeah.
yeah,
He blocked it.
yeah,
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 bad ball.
yeah. That was a bad ball. Nearly created a transition as well. But yeah, other than that, he was tidy. I thought he done well.
I agree. Deveni wasn't on long enough, but again, he's coming on again. Glass of credit, man. He put the kid on in so many tight games, and not one time can we say. I mean, I'm not going to pick on him. Remember last year, Ozo comes on against Bournemouth, and then he gives up that, gets beaten on the byline by, I guess it was Semenyo for the
Hmm.
goal. But Deveni has never one time this time come on in a game late and made any mistake. We could say, oh my gosh, why is he coming in the game? So I got to give that kid credit. He comes on late in games and we are seeing that game whenever he's in there. So credit to him. But lastly, the manager. Both gave him an 8. Do you want to go first on Glasner?
Yeah, so I would have the game plan in the first half. I could kind of see what he wanted to do, but I don't know if it was working very well. He made some slight adjustments. I think maybe around towards the end of the first half, and we started getting a little bit more joy. But again, we normally do start quite slow. I think we were kind of set up. We kind of looked like an away team playing that sort of low block. Uh, what was evident was Bournemouth are way more technically better assured than our team was. The way they moved the ball in tight spaces, I think we struggled to keep the ball. But yeah, the change that he made at half time, because a lot of managers might have gone 4-4-1 or whatever it was, he'd done exactly what was needed to get the point. And the substitution of Lerma and the other substitutions were all right. So yeah, it's not a 10. We didn't win. If we won 1-0, he would have got a 10. But
Yeah, definitely.
he got the draw. So yeah, it's a solid 8.
Yeah, so for me, I was surprised the only change was the Wharton Palermo one. I really expected Chilwell to start, but again, I like that he showed confidence in Mitchell, and it paid off because he had a good match. I understood the setup, like you know how we were playing, but the yellow card changes everything. I'm glad he didn't do anything silly at halftime and maybe take off a striker and go maybe Sarr up top or something like that. He stood to the principles of the five, went from 5-4-1 to the 5-3-1. The low to mid block worked. He clearly, and he said it after the match, all he cared about honestly was going back to the basics and getting that clean sheet, and that led to the point. Like he always says, keep clean sheet. Least you're gonna get is a point. If you get a goal, you get 3 points. So to me, the most important thing yesterday was to not give up a goal, because the 5-5 was just irritating. So I was very happy with that. Again, you're right. Bournemouth is a very, very good side. You can tell a good side when their centre halves are technically brilliant, and Sabani and Hoyson on the ball are fantastic on the ball. I don't really
Yeah,
rate
very good.
Smith; he's an older player, but the centre halves are so good on the ball. And then you transition to players like Semenyo, Watara, Kluivert,
Kirkes.
Kirkes, exactly. Who, by the way, Kirkes, by the way, very quiet, thank goodness yesterday.
Yeah.
Wasn't involved in the game, but yeah.
Brooks come on. He's good. Technically very good.
Yep, yeah, they got a good team, and
Yeah.
so again, I'll again respect the point. I'll take
It's
the point, and we will
it's
move on to Arsenal. Go
it's
ahead.
very similar to when we lost 5-1 to Arsenal. We drew 0-0 against them
To
away
them,
from
right?
home.
It was,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it was a very similar game where they dominated the
yeah.
ball, minimal chances for us. They could have scored. They probably was better in that game. Um,
They were
and then
definitely.
it kind of stopped. It stopped, and then we went on a run after that. And obviously, the Arsenal, we're recording this on Sunday. Arsenal lineup has just come out, and they've gone really strong today.
Really? Okay.
They've gone Saka, Trossard, Martinelli, Odegaard, Rice. So maybe
They
they're
won't.
playing this.
That's weird. They won't go there again on Wednesday. What the way? We'll get to that anyway. That's interesting, huh?
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
what
know
I'm
that.
saying. So
Yeah.
I personally think we're going to speak about it in the preview and stuff, but I reckon there's been a few people tweeting about it as well. I actually think Glasner won't make that many changes on Wednesday,
He won't. He'll make some. He won't make as many people think. I agree with you
and
on that. I agree. The way
and
he
what he'll
talks.
do is probably take players off, and he'll
Yes.
treat it
Earlier
with
than
like a less load in training and use that as the keeping
right.
minutes in the legs, and then yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yep. So that's it for the Bournemouth preview. Appreciate all your support. Like and
Bournemouth
subscribe. We'll be
ratings.
back again. Oh my gosh, it was. Sorry. Edit. No, I'm just
That's
joking.
how bad the game was.
Yeah, de-edit this. Now I'm just joking. So that's it for the Bournemouth player ratings. I'll be back for the Arsenal preview this week. And until next time, up the Palace.